If you get elected,
Yeah.
she gonna make a trip to D.C.?
Well, she'd have to.
If you're in Brunswick, you might find David Costello out walking his dog, a 14-year-old named Stella.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's in charge.
But before a sassy beagle came into the mix, Costello grew up in Old Town in a working-class family, later traveling the country as a young adult for Ted Kennedy's presidential campaign. Costello worked in Haiti and Cambodia with USAID before landing a job as a top aide for the governor of Maryland. He and his wife raising 4 children.
You think back to how wonderful it is to just have kids, you know, and all of the stuff they bring.
David Costello has worked around the world, but now he's looking to the nation's capital for his next job, senator.
I think that broad range of governing experience is something that's sorely needed in Washington.
He's not new to running for Senate. He lost to independent Senator Angus King back in 2024.
If I thought Washington was broken back in 2024, you can imagine what I think now.
Costello now trying to unseat 5-term Senator Susan Collins.
I just think my experience is where I've dealt with environmental challenges, where I've dealt with neighborhoods in crisis or countries in crisis in a more hands-on governing approach or way, that contrasts very sharply with her government experience.
But before he can face the senator, Costello must primary against oyster farmer Graham Plattner this June. Even when Governor Janet Mills was still in the race, Costello says he tried to keep out of their back and forth.
I'm really trying to be that, quite frankly, that alternative candidate who can appeal very broadly and is focused, laser focused on doing what we need to do to change the system to get important work done for working families in Maine as well as elsewhere.
Costello says he knows he's the lesser-known candidate in the race, but
I think I'm the person who can win the most or broadest support, and that I think the establishment would be very comfortable with the fact of my background and experience.
On affordability, Costello says it's one of his main focuses of his platform.
There are 2 ways to approach affordability. One is to lower costs, right, for a family, and the other is to increase wages or income. So I really try to focus on, well, what do we do to do both in tandem?
He's looking to bring down the cost of medical coverage with universal health care.
It makes a lot of sense economically, and it's certainly, if we have the right kind of health care program, it's comprehensive. It covers, it's Medicare for all with comprehensive care, vision, hearing, prescription drugs, long-term care, mental health care, all of it.
He says immigration is a global issue that the United States can't solve alone, and that ICE needs to be reformed.
I certainly think it would lead to a considerable reduction in the amount of money going to ICE, and money would be better spent elsewhere.
As Mainers cast their vote, Costello wants them to know.
I've seen an awful lot growing up in Maine. I've learned a lot through my experience in government as well as my education. And I would like to take all of that knowledge and all of the experiences I've had, lived as well as work experiences, and work on behalf of people in Maine and the United States.
Back here now with the host of the In the Arena podcast, we're talking about David Costello's candidacy. He does have an impressive resume, and I think for a lot of people, he probably checks a lot of boxes. Ran against Angus King and Debbie Kazunas. He had about 11% of the vote last time around. In hearing him there, has he given you more of a reason to take his candidacy seriously?
Well, I think the best thing that happened to David Costello is Janet Mills getting out of the race, right? He all of a sudden now becomes the alternative for those who weren't comfortable with Graham Plattner for whatever reason, or looking for sort of a more moderate. I think he's got to do a little better at saying how he's really different from Plattner, how he can be, the argument of viability against Collins fundamentally didn't work for Janet Mills. It's not going to work for him. Nobody knows him. Nobody's going to believe that. So he needs to show some contrast. The one little thing in there that is hard to catch is he talked about having kids and the importance of that. And when you think about it, he's the only candidate in that race. Collins, Mills, Plattner, none of them have kids. So I was thinking maybe he's going to try to play into that a little bit, just his family connection.
Interesting. Yeah, especially when you talk about issues like healthcare, sports, Medicare for all. You have that experience, right, where
Sure.
if you're paying for children on your plan, it gets real expensive. And maybe that's something that connects with people.
Yeah, for sure. But the question becomes, how does he take what came across to me is this is the first time I really got to know David in depth, very approachable, very thoughtful, clearly has wisdom and government experience. The question becomes, how does he take all of that and transfer it into the living rooms of the people watching Total Maine in a relatively short period of time, because the primary is less than a month away. So I'm not sure he has the finances and the organization to get his message out.
Clearly, he has political ambitions.
Sure.
He's got the experience working for USAID around the world, and USAID, there's been a lot of focus on that with DOGE over the last 15 months or so. If he's not elected here, do you foresee that he has a future in elected office? Could you see him working in government in a successful capacity?
Sure, he could be in an administration. He could run for the legislature, which is something that he probably should do. Maybe run for the Senate, something like that. But I think Phil's point's important, is that he has to figure out how to get into the race a little bit more. He had a moment when Janet Mills got out of the race in which he could have gone for those donors. Right. He could have immediately said, I'm your alternative, but he doesn't have the infrastructure. It's almost like he hasn't taken the race as seriously as he should have in order to just monopolize that moment. There's 30% of the electorate at least that was not voting for Plattner that should have been his overnight.
Still some polling left to come, and who knows what we're going to learn from Pan Atlantic or Pine Tree when they release their next round in the days and weeks to come.